The following program may contain strong language. All of the comments and opinions expressed do not reflect the views of anyone but those making said comments. If you decide to continue listening to this program, it is assumed that you are not easily offended and have a broad sense of humor. Now that all that's out of the way, enjoy! As we start every week. Hi, everybody. It's Mike Wendt
and Billy Finnegan.
And an episode we on
20.
Holy shit! And they said it wouldn't last. 20 episodes.
Who's they? I said it wouldn't last.
You.
I didn't think we.
You motherfucker! You.
Sorry.
You said it wouldn't last.
I like to think of myself as an optimistic person, but you get us in the room.
I like to keep the glass a quarter full. That's about it.
Yeah, it stays about a quarter full for about 10 seconds.
And most of it's ice.
Yeah.
We should do a drinking show, like a real one.
That's not a good idea.
Not a let's go to the bar beforehand and get drunk. Let's record the progression. Absolutely, I say we do it for episode 120.
Okay. Hey, if we're around for 120,
we do a drinking show.
Sure.
All right, it's a date.
Wow.
100 weeks from now.
Actually, I might be doing my hair by then.
Oh, is that?
I think I have a hair appointment.
Finally gonna grow it out?
Something like that.
Okay.
Or cut it off. I don't know. We haven't gotten there yet.
How you doing?
I'm well.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's a slow week, but good week. And
it's been one of those weeks where nothing's really gone on.
Well, last night something was going on.
Oh?
I was practicing. My friends and I in our little sideshow troupe, Dr. Finnegan's Circus Sideshow.
Right, follow them on Facebook.
Practicing for our big performance.
Where is your big performance?
It's in Fall River at the Tap House.
Is that a bar?
Yes.
Good
and
guess,
it has nothing to do with Tap Out or UFC or...
As in bar
tap house, as in bar
tap. Yeah.
We had performed there before, and we promised them a brand new show. So we're going to give them a brand new show.
How many new ways can you hammer something into your face?
3 or 4.
3 or 4?
Yeah, you can... I got to do that one. That's
so as long as they only book you 3 times, they have a different show every time.
They got a different show every time.
It's that 4th time that you really have to start either getting creative or just cancel.
Well, they have us booked for another show, I think in June or something like that.
Sure.
I never check my schedule. And
it's
so
good to be surprised.
We're gonna, yeah. Oh my God! Where the fuck am I supposed to go tonight? So they have us booked for another show. So we've promised them. We've done one already. We're doing this one and then another one. We promised them all new shows every time. So this one is a brand new show. We've never done it. It's gonna be the debut. We're calling it the Gorilla Show. More on that later.
Sure.
And then the third show we got to do something totally different. So we're thinking.
The Chimp Show.
No.
Orangutan. We're just going with a monkey theme.
Quit monkeying around, okay?
Waka waka. What were you thinking for the third show?
The third show is going to be, it's a completely different show. Last time we did the show over there. Now we're going to do the show over, just move it. It's a stupid joke.
You're just going to go to the other side of the bar?
Yeah. Hi, guys. We're over here now.
We're in front of this side of the bar.
So we've got some new things planned.
It's the left window show.
some mentalism.
Mentalism?
Yes.
Like you're going to talk to the dead?
No, that might be the third show. So we're preparing for a show, and last night we were practicing the brand new knife throwing act. And I'm not going to lie.
Yeah?
I'm a little worried for next week.
Are you the throwee or the thrower?
Oh, the throwee. Oh, this.
So we might have a memorial Mike and Billy show next week.
There might be the following week, you will be talking by yourself here. I will be holier than thou.
I'll be bringing in the cavalcade of guests that knew Billy when.
No, it's
back when Billy didn't have 6 holes in his throat.
Yeah. We had done it before, and it went over really well, and it was funny. And it's a weird excitement because you're gonna get fucking knives thrown at you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nerve-wracking, but it's still fun and it's funny. Just the way we do it. I don't know. It's,
Negative.
If you're around the Fall River area next week, go and check it out because it could be my last show.
Yeah. Excuse me. Now you mentioned off air that you got a new set of throwing knives that you used to use steak knives.
We used to, because we thought it'd be funny. We thought, I don't know why, because we're.
Now, what you thought? Which one would be funny? The throwing knives or the steak knives?
The steak knife. I mean, because the way we do our show, it's sideshow, it's magic, a little bit of comedy, the comedy troupe thing. It's
now, you never have like people from the audience throw shit at you, right?
No.
Okay.
Are you
Well, I'm
kidding me?
asking
I trust my buddies. I am not going to trust any animal that's.
I went once. I've been once to one of those, medieval fairs where people are throwing knives and axes and all that shit.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting there with a turkey leg humming axes and a fucking. There was nobody there in front of it, but I'm like,
yeah. How hard can it be?
No, I would not want to be standing on the other side.
No. I'm just saying,
like a guy who just drank a yard of beer, holding a turkey leg in one hand and wielding an axe in the other. And it's like, oh yeah, completely. Come on, this is worth the the pennies I'm making.
It's it's a lot more difficult than you think.
We got free parking? Okay, let him throw it at me.
Go right ahead.
Go ahead.
Come on,
You're
hit me
valeting.
with your best shot over here. It's a lot hard because I got up there, and of course the first thing that comes to my mind when I'm gonna try to do knife throwing the way I look, it's Bill the Butcher in Gangs of New York.
Right.
So I get up there, I'm just trying to and say, how about a command performance indeed?
Right.
And just hucking knives, thinking Cameron Diaz is right there.
Sure.
Although I'd be aiming right for Cameron instead. But it's definitely it's an adrenaline rush to have. To see your buddy,
I guess.
And, beforehand, like I'm joking around with him, trying not to make him laugh too much because he's about to throw a knife at me, and I'm going, hey, Sean, listen, anything I ever did to piss you off, I am sorry,
right.
And then you just see this, and it's sticking into the board, and you're going, and I'll be sitting there, and he'll do like 4 on either side of me, or 2 up, 2 down, and then the ball shot.
Sure.
In between the legs.
Right.
And then you're just sitting there, you're watching this happen, and then you look to your right and there's knives there. You look to your left and there's knives right there. And it's fucking frightening, but it's great. It's just it's entertaining no matter what, because you really can't go wrong with it, because no matter what.
But there's definitely one way you can go wrong with it.
I'm saying as an entertainment factor.
Ah, yes.
You know what I mean? I mean, you're watching someone throw knives
can't beat the
at another
entertainment
person.
dollar.
No.
Yeah.
It's terrifying for everyone involved. It's great. So that's what I have to look forward to next Thursday at the Tap House.
Get some beer, some wings, and possible a murder. Great.
Please, someone.
It's a wonderful Thursday night out.
Please, somebody call me an ambulance. You're an ambulance. So it's
wow.
It's going to be good. It'll be good. Yes, that was a line from the Finnegan Circus sideshow. So yeah. How about you?
You've been doing, wow, it's me. Nothing quite as exciting. Excuse me. Bit of the same. I'm a bit more rested than I was last week.
Oh,
I guess.
That's good.
There's that. I go in my ups and downs.
Well, last week, I mean, that was a big high for both of us. Interviewing Heyman. And,
True.
we of course we also did the show at 11 o'clock in the morning rather than 7 o'clock at night right now.
Yeah, and I realized that because last week was a terrible week actually. Besides that one great day we had. Because I picked up a couple extra shifts, and one of them was a Monday morning.
Oh,
I did Monday at 6, and normally, because Sunday into Monday is my weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I get from 2 p.m. Sunday till about 2 a.m. Monday, and then I go to sleep, and I sleep till about 3, 4 Monday afternoon. I wake up. I'm the only guy in the world that likes Mondays. Everyone, got a case of the Mondays. Go fuck yourself. I'm sitting there. With my robe at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, be like, yep, coffee, Walking Dead, a little shameless. It's excellent. I get to catch up on my Sunday shows and enjoy myself while the sun is warm. But the last week I had to I pick up an extra shift and threw the entire week off because I was up. I did 6 to 10, got out, ran a couple errands. I was getting home at like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon when I'm usually just starting my day. I'm like, oh no, I don't want breakfast because I already did that. So I want to have maybe lunch. I don't have lunch because I get up, noon to 3.
Yeah.
So breakfast is mid afternoon for me, and it threw the rest of the week I was like trying to catch up on sleep, which you never can really do.
No.
And then we had to record Paul in the morning. So I was like, okay, well, I didn't go to sleep.
You were up all night that
I did
night.
the overnight that
Yeah.
night. So I went home, had some breakfast, didn't go to sleep, took a shower, came back in, was up till whenever the fuck we finished that show, which was probably mid-afternoon, didn't sleep again. So between that 24-hour period, I probably had like maybe an hour to 45 minutes of sleep.
Yeah, those are the fun ones.
Oh, it kills you. And it's not that it
And
throws off a day; it throws off a week.
And you're right, and you never fully catch up to it. I mean, you'd have to take 3 days off just to sleep and just sort your head out.
Yeah.
For a minute, but
And it sucks because I hate bitching about this job because we don't have a hard job.
no, we don't. It's extremely easy, and it really all it is, our job, or jobs that we do, are it's just time.
It's this.
That's all it is. It's just time consuming.
We're sitting down.
Other than that, you're not
Wearing sweatpants.
Yeah.
Shower if you want, as long as if you're going to be around people,
If
you
you're
take
gonna
a
be around
shower.
people, be nice.
But during the overnights, it's negligible because there's nobody in the building.
Right, and you're leaving at 6 in the morning or so, and
Right.
you're just going straight home and going to bed.
Right. So we can be dirty bastards. But
Faces for radio.
absolutely. But you really like Easter was this past weekend, and you really realize
Zombie Jesus.
you really realize how easy of a job we really have.
Oh yeah.
When you're around the rest of your family.
When you're around the actual working class of America.
Yeah, when you look down the table and it's like, okay, this cousin's getting their master's. They have 3 teachers at the table that are shaping the youth of America. This one's a Harvard graduate and a doctor. It's like, and I tell dick jokes.
Luckily, I don't have that. But being a quote unquote entertainer, it has its perks.
Sure, it has
Especially for the fact that you don't have to work that.
the dress
much.
code is excellent for the job. I love it. But what I realized is it really doesn't. We don't grow up.
No, I love it.
We don't grow up.
No,
here.
we just sit and stew in our
Arrested Development.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It is. It's pretty much. I mean, you're just instead of maturing, you're just plateauing.
Right.
And it's great because
I hit my sense of humor level, and I'm kind of comfortable.
And you keep
along.
you keep it there. I mean, every now and then you throw in a new joke that might be, "Hey, that was pretty witty and
Work that
intelligent."
into the repertoire.
Yeah, and then you just go right back to the dick jokes.
Right.
And it's, and the best thing is that everyone else around is just like you. Everyone might be
until you leave the building. Which is again, when you go out into the real world and you see people, it's like, I am just a child. I am a child. It's like you see people in suits and stuff. Or no, when was it? Actually, it was getting ready for Easter that I once again came to the realization that I do every time I have to put on big boy pants, as I call them, where it's not
or just pants in general.
it's not sweatpants, shorts, or jeans.
Right.
Like jeans is dressing up for me.
Yes.
And it's like, and I'm getting dressed and I put on my jeans and I pull an old one of the collared shirts that the radio station gave away for the golf thing. I put that on because it fit and it was clean.
Oh, that is sad.
And I walk out and
God, you could just go to fucking J.C. Penney or something. Just pick up something that's like
my
a golf shirt.
And Denise is looking at me and she's like, "You gonna wear that
again?
You're wearing sneakers to Easter dinner,
aren't you? You're wearing sneakers."
And I'm like,
you could at least go with the Jesus joggers. You could put the sandals on,
Well, that was just it.
You can walk on water.
I
with
got
them.
very lazy because I have real shoes that I wear, but I couldn't find anything but white socks that were clean. So, and I can't pull off that. I can't pull off the brown shoes and the white socks look.
No one can. You're not supposed to.
Exactly. So I'm like, well, I can't find my socks. It's not that I knew that they were dirty, because they weren't, because I haven't worn them in months, so they're obviously clean. I literally opened up one drawer, looked down, didn't see them, gave up.
You are a manly man. That's what you are. You are the definition of manhood.
I just gave up, and I'm just like, I want to be comfortable today.
Give me my chromosome with a little extra Y. Yes. Oh.
So I did. I ended up changing out of the radio shirt.
If you had kids, you'd be the socks and sandals dad. You would just be that embarrassing father.
Yeah, maybe. No, I don't think I would.
And you would totally. You'd show up the kids' game with you know you'd go to the, if you had a little girl, you had a father-daughter dance, you would pull out the khakis and a golf shirt, and you know the hair slicked back, and hey, I'm just here dancing with my daughter, waiting for I Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith. Because she's growing up so...
Of course, the funny thing is I'd be the one saying, this ain't creepy, making those jokes. Being the only asshole making pedophile jokes at a father-daughter dance. Of course. Because we have that maturity level.
Oh, God.
And I think, but I believe, I want to believe, I think, is more accurate. I want to believe that if I did have kids, I would somehow transform into a real person. But the fact that I don't, and we're not planning on it, like we have no interest in that, we don't have any interest in kids, I feel that it's like, I'm just going to be going on the rest of my life in this state of arrested development, for lack of a better term.
If I had the choice between choosing which would happen first,
yeah,
you having kids or us hitting 120 episodes, I'd go with the latter.
Good. It's better for my career. Fuck them.
Oh, just swimming Scrooge McDuck style in a big pile of experience bucks.
Imagine that. I mean, Jesus, I can barely put food on my own table. I have fucking another mouth to feed? That'd be terrible. Kids.
Well, you do. You have Denise.
Yeah, but she can fend for herself.
She can take care of herself.
Yeah. She's strong. She holds her own.
She's a tough broad.
Throw her out in the wilderness. She'll come back with something.
Oh my God! Are you kidding?
Might be a squirrel or something. But,
I bet she
necklace of ears.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's gonna be a necklace of ears, and I bet she takes down a hippo or something. Fucking rhinoceros. I would never cross paths with her. She's great. Love her, but she could. I will fully admit she could kick my ass.
She can be intense. Yeah. But
she's gonna kick my ass now.
Probably. Yeah. Although I think she just listened for the first time last week.
Oh, that's okay.
Because we got
Paul.
We got a little popular we got a little popular for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna try to ride that this weekend when I go to Canada though.
We were trending in Canada.
We were trending on Twitter in Canada.
I hear that all the time, like, oh, we're trending here.
Well, we see it on wrestling, is what it is.
And then all of a sudden it's like, wait, I saw the tweet and I was like, trending? I'm trending in Canada?
Right.
I've never even been to Canada. I'm trending in Canada. That's cool.
That's pretty fucking,
hey, say what you want about Canada.
Good people.
I was trending in Canada. I'm moving to Canada.
Good people. Yeah,
they like me.
They love us.
for 10 minutes, but I don't care.
Yeah, for 10 minutes.
We were trending while I was asleep. So that's even better.
That was just it, and it was my day off, so I wasn't even working to see all this.
Yeah, I was passed out. I wake up, it's like 6 hours ago. You were trending in Canada. I was like, okay, so...
The Mike and Billy show was trending in Canada.
I wish I could somehow...
for a brief moment.
I wish I could somehow translate that into dollars. So if I could sleep and
so
be
many
paid...
Times. Yeah.
You know?
So many times I see shit happen online. It's like...
Why didn't I do that?
How can I monetize this? You know? And it's usually like a YouTube video or something. Like when I put together those Bruins videos for the playoffs and they get like 100,000 hits, I'm like, how do I get $1 or two out of this?
YouTube, I thought you do get
copyright.
Oh.
I don't own the music or the footage.
Right.
So I use parody law. Somehow that's a parody.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Well, I guess one or two of them could be considered that. But
if Girl Talk, the DJ can get away with it.
I don't know what that is.
Girl Talk is a mashup artist. Just takes music from all different things and mashes them all together, and they're all and he can't get sued.
Girl Talk is a guy.
It's a guy. It's one guy. It's one guy who he's a DJ.
And that was his DJ name. He picked Girl Talk.
Don't argue with it, man.
I will argue with it. It makes no fucking sense.
Well, don't worry about it. It's fine.
It sounds like never mind. It's
well, anyway.
fucking stupid.
All I'm saying is he doesn't get sued. If he can't get sued, then
DJs always confuse me.
Why?
Because they always confuse because they do those mashups and they do the mixes where they're using a whole shitload of copywritten material. How do they not have to pay royalties on that shit?
Because it's and I was trying to read an article about it, and a lot of people have said that it would take so many people to go ahead and sue him, and then there's other law, there's other things that he's protected under, and then there's it's a very strange, because he uses so many different collaborations and throws so much stuff in there that you'd have to get everyone to sue him, and it's like it's too much time and effort, and it's almost just a headache, so they just let it go. And I'm guessing because he's so good at it, they don't care.
Terrible.
I don't know. It's really strange how he gets away with it.
That is a terrible law, or a lack of law. That's awful. It's
especially in the day and age in which we live in, where everyone is just lawsuit happy. It's like how could that guy get away with it? And why aren't more artists doing it?
Right. I don't understand that one bit. I thought that's what that's why we brought down Napster, wasn't it?
Well,
for situations like this.
And the funny thing is like he's used Metallica.
Right.
Lars has not gotten after him and has not.
I think Lars spent all his fucking energy on that one. He's like, you know what? I don't care anymore.
He's got 4 gold toilets now, so he doesn't need any more.
Oh Christ.
So okay, I just looked it up.
What's that? The law?
How come Greg Gillis, better known, and I'm reading this off of techdirt.com.
Always a reputable source.
Sure. How come Greg Gillis, better known as Girl Talk, the popular mashup musician, hasn't been sued yet?
Musician.
Oh, okay, calm down. Okay. So, it said, here's the suggestion that this guy, Friedman.
He's definitely a lawyer.
Peter Friedman. Well, he is. He's involved in copyrights.
Good guess.
He says, well, I think I am a lawyer, just like the lawyers representing Metallica, The Guess Who, and anyone else whose work has been sampled and repurposed by Gillis. And if we're advising one of these clients, or I were representing the RIAA and could influence the lawyers for Metallica and The Guess Who, I would advise that client not to sue Girl Talk. Gillis's argument that he has transformed the copyrighted material sufficiently that his work constitutes infringing. Oh, well, it's a typo. Non-infringing fair use is just too good. I'd go after someone I am more likely to beat. Otherwise, I'd lose all the leverage I have with the existence as yet undisputed in case law of the decisions in Grand Upright Music and Bridgeport Music. So basically, he fucks around with it so much that's almost impossible to sue the guy.
What this sounds like to me is because he's good at what he does, they shouldn't sue him. So
and that goes back to what I said.
I don't want to pat myself on the back too much.
Maybe he's just
I don't want to pat myself on the back too much, but I feel I'm a pretty good video editor. I'm gonna go recut Pulp Fiction and release it. Fuck him.
Well, what was it? Was it Dawn of the Dead? You could do that too.
Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead, because it was, that was because it was in public domain.
It's public domain. Yeah,
but it is very interesting. I mean, how a guy and he makes a lot of fucking money on, he's had 4 albums now.
Right.
I saw him at a couple concerts, and the only shitty thing about the concerts when you go see him is he's on stage. He literally just hits play and then dances like an idiot around the stage. So I've never just seen him.
Right.
But he's been a part of festivals. You literally just paid to watch him hit play on a CD player, and he dances around. He doesn't do any live mixes. It's not like those types of DJs. He just...
Even that, though, I just... And this could be completely my age or just never getting into that shit. I just don't get it. I don't get paying money to show up and watch a guy play with a fucking computer. I get, the Stones are coming to Boston in June.
Yeah.
That was just announced today. The big news. The big Wednesday announcement.
And McCartney a month later
is doing Fenway.
Yeah.
Right. And I get that. And not just because they're icons, they're legends, but they're actually up there playing a fucking instrument. They have a skill. They're not like literally, I just hit a space bar. He can do the same thing and do an hour-long show.
Well, and believe me,
I get it. There's pre shit
well,
where
it's
you,
not even,
where you
but it's not even that.
mix it up.
But it's not even that. There's other DJs. I mean, one of them that I can just think of is Cut Chemist. He plays everything he does. All the beats he does are all on 45 discs.
Is it the drugs? I'm gonna be quite honest. Is it
The drugs?
because
they're very nice.
I see a lot of pictures of a lot of these DJ concerts, as I air quote it, and everybody's just stoned to shit.
Well,
and they're
yeah.
all wearing the t-shirts with like rolling my ass off
Yeah,
or rolling my balls
yeah,
off
yeah.
and all that stuff. And it's like, it's got to be the fucking drugs. That's got to be it. I never got into the
But it's
whole
not-
ecstasy or
well,
any
no,
of that
it's not-
drug shit. I
it's-
just locked my microphone again. What the fuck is going on here?
It's not just that though. It's, you know, there is an appreciation for it because these guys, they can create things and mix things up, and it's the way that they, you know, bring this up and turn this down and bring the, you know, a tempo in differently, or maybe bring more bass or less bass. You know, those types of guys that they're actually in tune to the mixes.
I think I'm too old at this point to even understand what you're saying.
Okay.
I mean, I just watched. It was on the other night, the South Park episode, where Stan was getting old. It was one of the last couple seasons.
Oh yeah.
And
The shit coming out of everyone's mouth. Yeah.
it was actually a later one than that. It was his birthday. He got a CD. His mother didn't want him listening to the CD, and the father, one of the greatest characters in all of television, Randy Marsh, takes it and wanted to be hip. He's like, oh, I can listen to this. It's no big deal. And he puts it in the computer and puts his headphones on, and it was just it was people taking shits.
Yeah.
And that's kind of I think that's where I'm at in my life now, where it's like you can't
impress you anymore.
It's impossible to teach me or to even try to make me understand why you enjoy this.
Well, and I'm not even going out on the limb and saying that I'm an expert in, you know,
I don't just mean
techno
you, but
music
I mean,
or dance music or
yeah.
house music. I enjoy some of it because I just like a good beat sometimes. But you know, it's certainly to each his own on that.
Right.
And believe me, I can look at it and say, I can see why people don't like this. I can look at it also and say, I can see why people, you know, really enjoy this stuff. Can I listen to house music 24 hours a day? No way.
Right.
No way. I'd blow my brains out because it's just too much. It's just too much technology. I want to hear something that's a little more human too.
Sure.
But you know, for me, and in my opinion, if I just like to have an open mind, especially in the business that we work in, you got to have an open mind with certain things. And
I've tried. I really have, and especially where being at some of the other stations, I've tried to be like, all right, I'm gonna give it a chance.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what the fuck am I listening to?
Yeah.
This all sounds the same.
Yeah.
And I know that, and as I say that, I know how I sound to people probably in their 20s.
Because you sound like an old guy.
I sound like the old man because it literally, to me, sounds like one continuous beat and one auto-tuned voice after the other.
But the funny thing is that you're right in what you're saying, and that most people, even 20, 22, 25 years old, will say the same thing.
Right.
Because all you got to do is have fucking ears, and you'll hear that, yes, it is the same thing.
Right.
But it's the demographic that they lean towards. They don't care. They just want to hear that. You know?
To further my age, it's like you almost, to the point I feel you almost shouldn't be calling it music anymore. Because I mean, would you really? I mean, could you categorize the Stones with Gangnam Style in the same goddamn category? I mean, it takes nothing to become a musician nowadays.
No, well, that's the truth, and that's it's become a.
You get some royalty-free fucking set of beats, layer that shit over each other, and then make some snazzy fucking auto-tune and a YouTube video, and you're off.
And all it's about is the hook. It's just getting
You're
hook.
a superstar.
Like Blues Traveler said.
How did that guy not die?
The hook, he got gastro
I had John
surgery.
Papa in my fucking death pool for years.
Well,
Fucking asshole in his fucking lap band.
Oh my god. Anyway, I'm sorry, John Popper, if you're listening.
Didn't cost me any money. It just angered me that I wasn't right.
Right. Okay.
Because it's because I predicted Chris Farley's death. And
yes, you told me this.
And
story.
ever since then, I've been pointing to fat guys on TV.
That's shooting fish in a barrel. I mean, that's like, hey, look at that fat guy. He's gonna die soon.
Every time I see Goodman on TV, I'm like, he's gonna die.
Well, John Goodman is a modern medical miracle.
He goes up and down though.
He's pretty much, he just plateaus. He just goes up and then plateaus.
Yeah.
I mean, he might go down every now and then. But
I think it's more character thing because I know I watched the first season of Treme. Is it Treme or Treme?
No,
I don't know. Well, he was on it, and it was one of those emotional weight losses for the character.
Yeah.
And then like the next time you saw him, he was back to up there. So I think it was one of those things.
So
which is fucked up because it's like you just proved you can lose 100 pounds. So why don't you keep it off?
Oprah did it too.
Yeah, but Oprah's never going to die.
How do you know?
Come on.
How do you know?
People with that much money don't die.
Hence Magic Johnson.
Right. Thank you.
Is that where you're going into that?
I wasn't.
Oh.
I wasn't.
Because speaking of South Park, that was one of the greatest things.
Oh, another one, yeah. You just
$187,000.
You have to inject $100 bills into your veins.
Right in there, and it'll cure AIDS.
Absolutely. No, but fuck, I forgot where I was going. Doesn't matter. Move on to the next thing.
ADD.
Yeah. April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
Did you get got by anything?
No.
I did by one.
I saw a bunch of things, but in my 27 years old? 27 years of being on this earth and 20.
Isn't it bad when you forget how old you are?
Yeah.
I did that the other day. I'm like, how fucking old am I? Am I 34? I'm 33.
20, I'm going to say 22 years of participating in April Fools. I don't believe anything that comes out on April Fool's Day. Ever. Unless the next day.
Do you actively try to get people?
Oh, yeah. I have. I haven't in the last few years, but I have. I've told people I was moving and sent them a letter, and I got a lot of...
Sure.
This was in high school. I sent people a letter saying I was moving, and of course when I typed out the letter, all the words going down on the left side said April Fools. No one fucking believed it.
Look at you.
I mean, no one
got it.
No one got that. One person got it, and someone said, "No, that's just a coincidence." How is that a coincidence? Like, come on. I've done the old wrapping the tape around the faucet, so when they turn the faucet on, the little sprayer shoots out at them. I've done the Tabasco sauce on someone's food. I've done...
That's not really April Fool's. It's just...
No, it's mean.
It's a jackass thing.
It's certainly... I've done the saran wrap in the toilet paper, in the toilet seat.
Again, prank night.
That's an asshole. But I've done other things as well. It's just... I can't remember, but I don't believe anything that comes out in the media on April Fools.
I'm finding people are getting lazy.
Oh, certainly.
Like the one I got on anyway, was
you gonna get got.
I got got. Was the Mike Tyson tweet
about taking the tattoo off?
All he tweeted was, "I'm going to the doctor to get my face tattoo removed." That's not. It's almost like, okay, well, if it's not true, who gives a shit? It's not like... Well,
I think the reason why that one...
But the reason why that thing... Everybody thought it.
The reason why that worked is because it's an ugly-ass tattoo.
It's believable. He's up in that age.
It's completely believable. And he's starting to get actual work now.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, it's fucking Mike Tyson. It's like, who gives a shit?
But like, I read it, I'm like...
He could do whatever he wants to do.
When I read that, it didn't even dawn on me that it was April Fool's. I saw it. I'm like, oh, okay, retweet. Big fucking deal. Yeah, I did.
I got
I did.
Mike.
And I'm like, and then when I found out, I'm like,
this is stupendous. I got everyone.
Really? I got by that guy?
Yeah, you did.
That guy used to play with pigeons.
He still does. And he writes poetry.
God damn it. But they seemed very lazy. And then there were some that were a little bit more elaborate. Like, there was...
Well, I saw it. I don't know if you saw Google put up there. Brand new Google Smell-O-Vision or something like that.
I heard about it. I didn't see it.
I was like, you know what? That's actually pretty funny.
The one I saw that I thought was pretty creative. was Peter Jackson. I don't know if you read that one.
No.
He released a sneak peek of The Hobbit, Desolation into Smog. Is that what I'm reading?
Yeah. That's,
Okay. That sounds about right.
I think that's the second one. Yeah.
The Hobbit. Yeah, he released a sneak peek of Desolation into Smog, the Hobbit sequel, and in the clip, there's a brief scene where he's fumbling around his desk and he's opening up a drawer and looking for stuff. And when he opens the drawer, for like literally a split second, you had to screen cap it, but he shuffles some papers, and underneath the papers was a script for Star Wars 8 with his name on it. And then he moved it, and it was like that. It was so quick.
Oh, that's really good.
And it fucking, of course, went viral. And it was a gag.
Oh, that's really good.
Because, of course, J.J. Abrams is doing the 7th one, and that's official. But it's like...
I think that's great because you're going right after a fan base that would absolutely eat that up.
Yeah, and they did.
That's so well done.
And everyone, like, there was...
And that's something.
Nobody didn't buy... There was nobody that ever said, like, all of these April Fool's things I read, everybody got by him. There was nobody that was like, oh, it's totally fake. It's like the Sharon Osbourne pregnancy.
I didn't hear about that.
She went on whatever fucking show she's on, The View or The Chew or the Screw, whatever the fuck she's on in the morning. With
God, I'm glad that's fake.
And she went on and said that she was pregnant. She said she got donor eggs, mixed it with Aussie sperm, and she got pregnant. And the women were all fucking fluttery and crying, and they all...
that right there would make it... If I heard that, it would have made me say, no, wait, hold on, that's not right. Ozzy doesn't have sperm anymore. That man has been so drugged up, and it's not him taking drugs. It's whatever they're prescribing him to take. He is so gone that there's no way he can create a baby.
That was a little far-fetched. Snooki came out, said she got married to the dude that she's engaged to. Again, that's not really an April Fool's joke because it's
already happening. It's like that's
okay. If it's true, okay. If it's not true, okay.
It would have been better if Snooki came out and said she was dead.
Yeah. There was it's funny you mentioned that. I saw TBS is doing some it's like a takeoff on Punked.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
it's like their version of it with the guy from Scrubs.
Yeah, Donald Faison
and they had Opie from the Opie and Anthony show.
Really?
Doing a promo. It was just a promo. It was have you ever pranked anybody? What was your best prank?
Yeah.
So of course
he did not bring it up.
He brings up the
Menino thing?
The Menino April Fool's joke where they were on here in Boston, and they told the city of Boston that Menino had died in a fiery car wreck. Hang on, here's the promo.
I forget.
Greatest prank I ever pulled. I don't know if you want me to tell this. I'm a radio guy, and when I was doing a radio show in Boston with Anthony, Opie and Anthony, we told the whole city of Boston that the mayor died in a fiery car accident. Yeah, that's the greatest prank I ever pulled. Just wrong.
Oh.
Exactly. No one's talking. You wanted the greatest prank. It was for April Fools. Does that help? No?
I mean, that's just that.
And then they go into the rest of their promo.
It's like
the funny thing is that's a TV spot now.
Honestly, like 98. I can't even remember. I can't remember that happening. I don't remember it because it wasn't big on my radar at the time. Obviously, you couldn't do that these days with the way Twitter is and texting and all that other stuff. I mean, hell, Menino, if it were to happen today, Menino would be up, in a plane. He could text his family and blah blah. He'd probably be texting with them while he was on the plane. He could just
tweet, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so.
Well, it wouldn't fly now because lawyers would obviously step in.
Oh my God. The one that comes to mind is I forget where it was, but there was a radio show happening and they were giving out a free Toyota. It's free Toyota. Caller number 12. Free Toyota. And blah blah blah. And so woman calls up. She wins it. You want a free Toyota?
Toyota.
It was a toy Yoda that she won, and she sued. But I don't know if I don't think she won. But like that is inventive. Like Toyota. That's inventive.
And the funny thing was that wasn't even an April Fool's gag with the Toyota. That was just a radio stunt.
That was a radio stunt.
Not to make it the Opie and Anthony hour, but I mean they also did the $100,000 thing.
That was funny.
That was them.
Now see, that's inventive. That's great.
You win $100 and they give you
And they give you the $100
candy
candy bar. That
Right.
is funny, and because it's not really malicious. It's inventive.
They did a car thing too that Sam Adams sponsored. It was like just a beat to shit car.
Again,
that didn't run, had no wheels.
But that's funny. Like, it sucks that you just got played, but that's funny.
Right.
Of course, I'm sure the person that won it sued because that's what everyone
That's
does.
what people do. And that's why you can't do gags like this on the radio anymore.
And then when people ask you, oh, you know, what the fuck? Like, radio's so boring now. It's like, you guys made it boring.
You fucked this all up.
You fucked it all up. We can't do anything. Our hands are tied.
Should we get into prank calls?
Yeah.
They're not real, people.
Sorry.
Your favorite radio show that does prank call bits aren't real. Sorry. They're illegal. Illegal. Not even frowned upon. Not against the rules. They're illegal.
It's harassment.
They're against the law. I'm sorry to burst your bubbles. But, I mean...
Do not pay any attention to the man behind the curtain.
But you did this. It'd be wonderful to do prank call bits.
Actual prank call bits.
I used to be all about prank calls when I was a kid. All about them.
Are you kidding? When the Jerky Boys came out with
Oh
the
my God.
I was doing them as a kid. Were
you making tapes as well? Were you recording yourself?
I think I might have recorded one. I don't know where it is, but I remember.
I used to love doing that.
I remember you just take like the first, your regular. So in my area code, it's 695 is the main thing. So you 695, and then you look at the clock, and it was like 11:23, 1123, and that's the person you call. You always remembered. You always had to remember what one the police station was, just in case.
Right.
I think it's 1212 or something like that.
See, I would do stuff with my neighbors just so I could see the payoff.
Oh, see, I never saw the payoff. But I heard the payoff. Obviously,
and
fun.
Trust me, we weren't just doing the order a pizza bit.
No,
like we would do plumbers and electricians, and make emergency calls to electricians saying that our light fixture and the whole house went dark and there's frayed wires. Like we would.
So
we
you
would
actually did like actual problems that people would actually face.
we would sell horror shows to the woman across the street from us.
You're a dick.
Just so we could sit there in the driveway and watch her argue with the people that showed up. The electrician, cabs. Oh my God, I called a fucking cab because my wife was going into labor. And I needed to send her to, and I remember we said a hospital, but the dispatcher at the cab company goes, I don't think they deliver babies there. I'm like, it doesn't matter.
Just get me to a hospital, please. Help! Help!
They show up.
This thing's coming out of me. It's huge. Oh my God. Oh, why did I sleep with the milkman? Ah!
And they show up, and of course, the old lady across the street is just bullshit.
Yeah, because she's 80 years old and hasn't seen a penis in 40 years.
Oh, it doesn't. She's just her door was being knocked on an hourly basis for about 2 weeks straight.
Okay, that's really funny.
And we pick up the yellow pages and just go down all the business sections, and it's like, okay, they'll come out, check.
Oh my God. Okay, that's funny.
Ordering masseuse to come to our house.
Well, what you do on your free time is, what you want to do.
We did. Oh.
That's really good. Okay. See, those during April Fools, those are fun.
And of course, occasionally we would do the pizza bit.
Yeah.
I remember doing I remember we forgot we did it.
Ordering 50
we
pizzas
forgot we did it.
That's terrible.
We ordered a pizza. We did like probably 15 calls in a matter of less than an hour. We're calling. And I guess one of them was a pizza. And then we went outside and we had to rake the yard. And we were in the front yard raking, and we hear her screaming. And all of a sudden we look across the street and like, oh shit, yeah, we ordered pizza, didn't we? And we see the pizza guy getting all flustered, pissed off, and starting to leave. And my buddy runs across the street. He goes, "Hey, we'll take them." So we took the pizzas
for free.
We paid the guy. We gave him money, but
well, that was nice of you guys.
But we were like, oh, we completely forgot we ordered pizzas.
Wow.
Yeah. So we were bad kids to a point.
I mean,
we tortured an old woman across the street.
They're harmless, and they're some of them may be mean, but you know, if you're asking for Prince Albert in a can, it's like whatever.
Is your refrigerator running?
Yeah, and stuff like that. Like it's just fun, harmless little things that kids do. But you can't.
We even went to the point of we would do fake radio contests with people.
That's good.
We would call random people, and
hey, you just won a $10,000 here on KPPX.
We asked a guy a trivia question. It was who played Kyle Reese in The Terminator. He got it right. It was Michael Biehn.
Oh my god.
And how I remember this shit is fucking. And I don't know my own phone number. That's weird. But we told him back then, of course, you had record stores, and we said you win 10 free CDs at the Strawberries on Route 1 in Saugus. Go down there, you go up, you pick out your 10 CDs, go up to the counter, and give them code word Galaxy.
Code word Galaxy.
Code word Galaxy.
Fuck you, dude. That's awful.
And of course, we know that one we never saw paid off because we weren't going to sit around Strawberries for weeks until some dude showed up saying Galaxy. But had we?
Galaxy! Galaxy! Give me my fucking CDs! I want this Hootie and the Blowfish! Damn it!
And that's what we pictured. That's exactly what we pictured happening. Some dude losing his ever-loving shit.
That's actually really good.
But see, so I'd like to think I was a little bit more creative than just the average prank caller.
But see, the sad
jerky.
The sad thing is that
is your refrigerator running jerky?
You kick my dog. The sad thing is that that's a lost art. Kids are. I mean, now you have the online.
Well,
thing,
nobody answers the phone anymore.
Well, but the online thing's not as fun. Like the catfishing thing. Like whatever. You know, it sucks. It sucks, but you know, there's no talent there.
No.
You know, like literally, I'm trying to say what you were doing. There was talent. There was thought put in. There's creativity. The Twitter thing and
we had characters.
I mean, the Twitter thing, like having there's
we call abuse hotlines.
There's you're an asshole.
Locked
Stop
in the
it.
closet.
Just stop it. Stop
my
it.
Father is,
Stop.
He's been drinking.
My father is.
It was 1-800 alcohol, I believe.
My father.
And we tried to order booze first.
He's the head coach of Rutgers basketball, and he's been throwing a basketball.
We'll get to that
face.
story next.
He's been throwing a basketball in my face for now.
Calling me a
minutes.
fairy.
He's been calling me a fairy and a fucking jerk and a cunt. And I've been in my back. Could you please come in? Ah!
But yeah, we would call those abuse hotlines the 1-800 alcohol, 1-800 cocaine, and of course the first initial bit is always
1-800 cocaine.
1-800 cocaine.
That's so great.
We'd call that, and we
Hi, do you guys deliver?
We would try to order cocaine, and we'd try to order alcohol to 1-800 alcohol.
Why do people think that that's like the greatest idea to name the?
Well, if you actually need help, I guess it's an easy number to remember.
When I was a kid and I approached that age of manhood or you know exploring
yourself,
women exploring yourself. My big thing was, I don't know. I would think of the phrases in my head and just dial the 1-800 number. So it's like 1-800 get wet. You know what I mean? Or like I would think of the phrase like. You know, and I'm just going, oh, I know that there's one called wet tits. So I'd like dial it up, and sure enough, it's like, hey, you've reached 1-800 wet tits, and my tits are so wet for you. And like, I'd be on the phone like, that's so funny, and I hang up, and then pick up the phone again and call like 1-800 loose twat or something like that. And next thing you know, it's like, hi. Oh, I've been just naughty little girl. I've been waiting for you. And it's like
1-800 druid.
It's like what? It's like, where do you guys come up with this shit? And then I remember one time calling one up, and my mom actually picked up the phone because I thought it was funny to hear these things.
Sure.
You know, it's like it's that line of inappropriate, like, you know, you're not supposed to be hearing these things at 10 years old, but it's really fucking funny to listen to it.
Sure.
And so I got this woman is on the phone. It's obviously recording, and I never paid for it or paid for the thing. So it's like I hung up before it was just enter your credit card number, because that's what really gets me off is a woman telling me to enter my credit card number in.
For Visa, push 1.
For American Express, please hold on the line so our operators are standing by.
If you have a Diners Club card.
For your AAA travel membership card. So my mom picked up the phone and she was like, you know,
did I get a senior's discount? My
mom picked up the phone and she's, Bill, you know, you can't call those numbers and blah. So I had a lecturing, but
It's the worst thing.
But other than that,
than your parents catching you with porn or something like
other
that.
than that, I'll tell you right now, I never, knock on wood, both this and this, never got caught watching porn as a kid. Never did. Never got caught doing any of that stuff. And that's always, it's funny, it's always in the movies.
I never got caught. I never got caught, like, to the point that I knew I got caught.
Red-handed or purple-handed?
No. We got caught. Me, my brother, a couple of neighborhood kids. We swiped a shitload of like Playboys and Penthouse from the convenience store, and we were coming home.
You swiped them from the convenience store?
Yeah.
That's even better.
And we had them lining the inside of our jackets.
Yeah.
And we all show up all rigid and stiff, trying to run to the room so we could unload this shit. And
literally
of course,
and figuratively.
Yeah, and of course, my mother's sitting in the kitchen, and she looks at all of us. She's like, "What the hell's wrong with your jacket?" Oh man, it unzips, like 15 Penthouse because we looted. We had like 5 of the same issue. I didn't care.
Oh no, she's found our booty.
I remember one of them was the Penthouse with dice on the cover. It was dice and like 3 chicks, and he was wearing an American flag leather jacket.
Because, when you think America, you think dice.
When you think Penthouse, you think dice.
No wonder the Middle East hates us.
Absolutely. But I don't believe I was ever caught.
Okay, so you don't believe it. You don't know. There's never been proof.
I was never knowingly caught. It was never brought to my attention that I was caught.
Right.
So, but like I said, what's the big fucking deal?
Seriously.
What's the big fucking... Speaking, while we're on the what's the big fucking deal, I know we have differing opinions on this one. The Rutgers basketball coach.
Here we go.
Well, we were going to get to it eventually.
This is a good way to end it because we'll have a good screaming match.
I seem to be the man on the island at this point.
Yeah.
Because I put it out on Facebook, and even one of the guys I thought would definitely be on my side, but is not. If you haven't seen it, the Rutgers basketball coach has now been fired.
Rice, right?
Mike Rice.
Mike Rice.
Has now been fired. He was suspended. I guess this happened a year ago. And he was suspended for, like 3 games or something like that? It was
3 games.
It was like, very much a slap on the wrist, but all of a sudden...
3 games and like $50,000 and like something else.
Very much a slap on the wrist, but all of a sudden, recently... it got posted on YouTube, as it does, and this is how everything starts to spiral out of control.
Mm-hmm.
And now every news organization is playing the video and having their opinions and blah, blah, blah. Basically, he's yelling, he's screaming, he's cursing, he's calling the players names, he's throwing the ball at them, he's grabbing them by the shirt, he's, I don't know, kicking them in the ass a couple times. And people are up in arms because they're calling it abuse. Now, I want to put it into this frame, okay? First of all, the way people are delivering this, the news people, other radio shows are delivering it is, would you let your child play for this person? Here's why I feel that's wrong. That's a wrong delivery. First of all, they're college students. Most of them are in their 20s. They're adults, okay? They're athletes. These aren't fragile people. Most of them. Okay. And second and third, it's completely out of context. It's a video that's basically chopped up to only the awful parts.
Right.
Like if he grabbed one kid, okay, grabbed him by the shirt, started yelling at him in a 2-hour practice, that kid probably was being an asshole throughout the practice or wasn't doing what he said.
Okay.
And I'm just saying probably.
Okay.
Now, granted, obviously, they chopped up. It's a 3-4 minute video of probably 20 some odd clips. That's his coaching style. It's how he does it. Do I think it's excessive? Yeah, it's excessive. But I don't feel it's quite. I feel that people labeling it abuse is really wrong. I don't feel it's abuse, and I say that because I played organized sports for years. I spent almost 20 years in organized sports. Hockey, football, basketball, baseball, wrestling for a day and a half. And it's like there's yellers. There's yellers. Some coaches are more physical. I mean, I remember, and a perfect example of this, and granted, it only happened once. It wasn't like there was, 20 instances where it happened like this guy, but it happened once. It was high school football, and one of our players was showing up late to practice because he had to stay after class. Now, there was always that conflict between the football coaches and the teachers, keeping the students after class. They're missing practice. There was always that, you can't do that on practice days. Or the teachers was like, fuck you. Our thing's more important than your thing. No, our thing's more important than your thing. And that whole scenario. Either way, he was showing up late. I don't know how late he was. It was over 20 years ago. And maybe. I don't know how long I've been out of school. And he was kind of being an asshole. He was sauntering onto the field, is the best way to describe it, helmet in his hand. And we were always told, you're going to walk on the field, you're going to have your helmet on. You don't, even if you're not playing, you're on the sidelines during the game, you're wearing your helmet, you're ready to go.
Ready to go, yeah.
Ready to go 100%. We didn't leave the locker room without our helmets on. That's how we were taught. That's how we rode the bus with our fucking helmets on.
Yeah, it's discipline. It's teaching discipline.
And, I mean, and that was, the helmets were a constant thing because if the coach got pissed at you, you got one off the fucking head. Boom. Worst, if they fucking smacked those ear holes.
Yeah, that sucked.
You wouldn't be hearing a shit that he was saying, but you knew he was yelling at you.
Yeah.
Well, this kid was he was sauntering onto the field, carrying his helmet, and I just happened to be positioned in between the coach and him, where I was standing on the field. So I was about 10 feet away from what was about to happen. Coach was on the other side of the field. Yells across. Put your helmet on. Start running. Doesn't do it. Just keeps sauntering. Actually, no. He kind of did a little hop skip thing, like he was about to start running, and then kind of went back and fell back into it. And I look over and I see the coach, and he's like, kind of cocked his head. He's like, "Put your helmet on now and run." Didn't even flinch. Just sort of. All of a sudden, I saw what I can only describe as like a flash in front of me. And I turn, and I see Sean upside down being dropped on his head. The coach had run from the other side of the field, sprinted, and jacked him in the chest and knocked him on his ass. You know what everybody else learned?
Don't piss the coach off.
When coach says run, you run, and you don't come onto the field without your fucking helmet on.
But that's high school?
That was high school. That wasn't even college. That was high school.
And is he, I mean, he was getting paid, obviously, to coach. Was he like an AD or something?
No, he was an assistant coach, and he's now an FBI agent. Okay?
Look, I mean,
he was a big dude.
I completely understand, putting a kid in his place, to pop the kid, for me, there's definitely ways around it. In the Rutgers thing, you're watching this guy, he's throwing a basketball at the kid.
Sure.
The kicking the kid. I mean, I've been in teams where it's like, a coach wants to position you somewhere. And, for me, it was a little differently because my dad coached me throughout all of my baseball career.
Mine coached me in hockey.
And but
even in hockey, we had a yeller. We had a yeller and a cursor.
And we
had a guy that yelled and cursed at us, and this was youth hockey.
Yeah.
This was preteen hockey.
Right.
And there was a yeller and a cursor, and nobody really thought twice.
Well, and you don't think twice because you see coaches and you watch the NFL and like coaches are yelling at you all the time.
Sure.
It's like yelling. I don't care. Yelling is fine. The name calling, whatever. I mean, the guy's just, he's just some people are just assholes.
That's a side of him that I would say he's an asshole.
That's just an asshole thing. When you're watching it though, I've had.
But have you been called? But have you been called a name by a coach?
I've been told.
Because I have been.
I've been told stop. Acting like an ass. Stop doing this. And that's whatever. I've never. I mean, he's out there. I've never been one for the use of the word, but it's like he's out there calling a kid a fucking faggot, and it's like, I mean, really, like that's a little stupid. Like, call him an ass. Call him, stop being a douchebag and get out there and work.
But
whatever, that's fine.
It also is kind of the culture of sports.
It's been the culture of organized sports for a long time. It's just
I've been called that.
Yeah,
I've been
called that. The worst, I think, was high school growing up.
And it wasn't like they singled me out though. It was like you're all.
Yeah, and and that was, but for me, like in high school, that was the seniors saying it to the freshmen.
Right, right.
And yeah, there was a little hazing. look, I never got bad hazing, but because I think I had seniors who had a conscience and
we didn't have really bad
idiots.
hazing.
But the thing with the coach here for Rutgers, first off, I mean, kicking the kids, no. Throwing a basketball to kids, no. Sorry, that's just stupid. I've been put in position by coaches. He's dragging these kids across the floor. He's dragging them here and there. That is a little, and yes, they signed up for the sport.
Mm-hmm.
They signed up to do it. But the guy, like, look, Rutgers, I'm sorry, man, you're not.
Here's another question.
You're not fucking Bobby Knight. You're not.
Sure.
And Bobby Knight even throwing the chairs and that was a little egregious. I mean, that's a little stupid.
And here's another thing, though. It took this hitting YouTube and people complaining about it. Why didn't the players complain?
Well, okay.
If it was such a big problem,
why
wasn't there more of a complaint on the internal level?
You got a point there, and as well as this happened, he was suspended 3 months ago or whatever it was, but it was brought to the attention of the dean or whoever it was after the Sandusky thing. How about you fucking grow some balls and fire the guy? If it's this big of a deal, instead he went out and got like a private investigator, and it's like, all right, we're gonna watch this for like 3 months.
Is that where the video came from? I didn't know.
I had read a report or heard a report that this guy, whoever it was, the dean or the president, got a private investigator to watch the tape, or watch the practice.
Because it's a lot of the tapes are from. It looks like way up in the rafters.
Yeah, and I think.
And I think
that's how.
If he knew he was being filmed and he's still doing this, okay.
Well,
no,
because whoever it was, this president would show up, and it was on one of the assistant coaches that was there said that when the president or the dean would show up or the AD, the guy would be on his best behavior.
Right.
And then the minute that he left, then it goes back into calling everyone a fucking cunt and throwing them around and throwing all the before that, when the guy's there, he's,
well, sure,
come on, hey Johnny, you did, hey, next time you gotta, I mean, if you're changing your demeanor like that and you're doing it and because some higher up is there, then you're doing something wrong.
Yes and no, but there's also the thought that there's a mentality if you're in the sports, if you're in that group, it's like there's an understanding. This is how we act. This is how I motivate. And the players get it. The coaches get it. They're on the outside. They're not on the team. They're not part of it. Because putting them in there is like watching a video out of context.
Yeah.
They haven't been with us the entire year. So it's like, all right, they're here. Everybody just kind of do laps for until they leave.
I think if that's the only way you can motivate a player or motivate anyone is by physically assaulting them.
Not the only way, but some people you can't get through to.
Well, if that's the case, then get them the fuck off your team.
Yeah.
Then that's the thing. I mean, that if they're not working for you, then get them out of there and work with the people that are gonna work for you. I mean, that's all it is. But if this coach, if it's like he can't just get this player off his field,
right?
And so instead he's just gonna sit there and kick him and throw a basket. It's like,
I'm not saying, and again, I'm not saying it's all right. I'm just saying it's not all wrong either.
I understand, and I get what you're saying, and yes, it can be taken out of context, but
I mean, I think this guy probably should have been fired.
Yeah,
I'm not going 100% on it, but I'd say probably there's an 80 to 85% chance.
And he's not the only one that's at fault.
Right.
Whoever is his boss, if he knew about this, he knew, it's like you watch something like that, and even if it's just that you're seeing is those clips, even if it's out of context, whatever it is, if you see that, it's going to get out. You don't want it to get out, so just take care of it right away. Instead of this random suspension thing. And because that if you suspend a guy in Rutgers, I don't watch college basketball, but I'm sure it's up there, Rutgers basketball.
I have no idea.
If you suspend him, and I was reading that it was a kind of an out of the blue thing.
Right.
You're a high profile school. You suspend him for no explanation. Someone's going to investigate that,
Right.
And they're going to look into it. And no matter what you think, you could bury it as much as you want. It's going to be found out,
right.
No matter what. So just nip it in the butt right away and move on. So. Whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not 100% sold that it's completely wrong. I think part of it is because I think
it's difficult these days to motivate people. I understand that, but
I think my problem is more the wording. He wasn't abusing them. I think that's the problem. That's what I'm really having a problem with is people don't know how to categorize their emotions.
Okay, but technically he is okay if he's not abusing them. He's technically assaulting them and
technically
it's battery. It's assault and battery.
Technically, contact sports are assault.
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely. But
it's organized assault.
But this isn't. It's not during the game. He's not in the confines of the game.
Okay.
It's a practice.
Then I see your. It's not in the confines of the game, and I raise you.
Yeah.
How were kids taught how to hit? Somebody had to teach you how to lower your shoulder and put your shoulder into somebody. Who was that?
It was your coach.
It was
absolutely.
a coach.
But this is basketball we're talking about, where hitting is not.
No, but balls are thrown at your face.
Not necessarily. Not the way he's doing it.
Hey,
there's a kid, and we were talking about this off air.
It's a 40-something-year-old white man. He doesn't have the arms of the young 20-year-old basketball players. He's got to launch that thing.
There is a kid who's completely turned around. His back is towards the coach, and he lobs the ball. Not lobs.
Launches,
a fucking Hideo Nomo fastball to the back of the kid's head.
Okay.
I mean, he's launching the ball at this kid like this, and the kid shrugs it off because obviously that's how this guy does it. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. You're passing the ball, yes, but to launch it at some kid's head, it's a defenseless kid. He doesn't know what's coming at him. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's completely different.
You have eyes in the back of your head. Oh. Game time situation. You got a ball thrown at the back of your head.
You got to be ready. You got to be ready for anything. Dive, duck, ditch, dive, and dodge.
You have no idea when somebody's going to come running up behind you and try to kick you in the ass.
Patches O'Houlihan.
Yeah, if you can dodge a ball, you can dodge a wrench or something like that. If you can
dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
That's right.
If you can dodge my insults, you can dodge a ball.
Think about that. How many years ago did that movie come out? We were all giggling and laughing as fucking Rip Torn launched
because it's Rip
wrenches.
Torn. How can you not laugh at Rip Torn?
This isn't much different.
Throwing wrenches at
this isn't much different.
Justin Long. That's funny.
Aside from the R-rated language, this isn't much different.
It is different. It is different. It's completely different because that's entertainment, and that's.
This is organized entertainment.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Oh, I guess we'll just agree to disagree.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm almost there with you. I know. I don't like people.
No, I don't believe me. Believe me. You know what? You know what? Believe me. I agree with you on the wording of things because there was another news report, and I don't really want to get into it right now, but there was another news report that you had to click on it because it said the headline wrote rape victim sentenced to lashings of punishment for.
Was this an April Fool's joke?
No. This is a while ago. Sentenced to lashings for premarital sex, or because in this country it was illegal to have sex before you're married. Now, she wasn't getting the lashings because of the sex with the stepfather. She was getting the lashings because of the premarital sex with. I mean, it was just the way that it was worded. It wasn't a rape victim. It wasn't a rape victim.
Lost.
I know. It's like it wasn't a rape victim, and she was being punished for being a rape victim.
The dude was talking about his rug.
Basically,
what are you trying to say here?
What I'm saying is the way that the story was worded, it looked like a rape victim was being charged for being raped. That wasn't the story at all. It was just the way that the media decided because they wanted the clicks. Yes, the wording of things and the way the media words it is bullshit, and that's what I'm trying to get at. It was a terrible way of doing it.
So she should have been lashed for being raped, but just worded differently.
She should have been lashed according to these laws. She should have been lashed for the premarital sex she had with her boyfriend.
Well, they wouldn't have gotten the clicks if they said she's being lashed for being a naughty girl.
I know. But the way that they... So it's like... And all these people, obviously, they just read the headlines because then you read the comments afterwards. Like, this is bullshit, and this is... And it's like, well, no, you got to read into the story. And
sections are just the worst possible thing in the world.
Oh, it's just vile. It's vile. It's just swill at the bottom of the story.
It's just the worst possible thing. And they're never worth reading.
No, they're never constructive.
Never worth reading at all.
You can't even have a conversation with those people.
And the fucked up thing is I guess you'd call it being a troll, but I sometimes do that. Like I'll
well, then you have nothing to complain about. If you're an asshole on there and you're gonna complain and you still do it, fuck you. Fuck you.
I'll be the first to admit that I am a hypocrite when it comes to a lot of this stuff, because sometimes I'll deliberately go on someone's page and try to stir a little shit.
So see, you got
But
nothing.
usually I do it in fun.
I would have. You know what?
I don't dip in trying to look for anger.
Because I'll tell you right now. Most of the guys that are out there are gonna say the same thing. I just do it for fun. That's all. I just want to get a rile out of people. That's it.
Yeah,
that's all it is, man.
I lost you, didn't I? I had you, and then I lost you.
Yeah, I was like, I can agree with you, because
that
you know what?
Damn honesty.
Personally, I don't fire shots over Twitter, on comment boards. I want to actually have a conversation, especially when I'm looking at things. It's a lot of dirt sheets.
I want my cake and I want to eat it too, or something like that.
You can't do that, baby. You can't do that.
I want to make sarcastic
You
comments.
can't do that. You're gonna lose your head on it. You're gonna lose your head.
And then I want
Maria Antoinette, man. You're gonna lose your head.
I did it with a guy. He was bitching about some movie. And this is we're gonna end with The Notebook, by the way. And I've never seen the movie, so I had no dog in the race. I just wanted to fuck with him. He was writing his little review on The Notebook, and he was like, how could they end it like that? I guess there was a moment where it could have been a nice little happy ending, and then they killed the main characters at the end or something like that. Spoiler alert. I don't know.
Spoilers. Hello, I was just gonna watch that tonight.
I heard. From what I heard, it was a tearjerker. I don't know. Never seen it.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
No real interest in it. Mm-hmm. But I guess there was that happy moment, and then it ended with them dying. So, of course, while he's like, how could they do that? It would have been a perfect movie. Rebel. I go in and I go, you know what? You're absolutely right. And that hack Shakespeare should have let Romeo and Juliet run off into the sunset together. And I just walked away.
Well, at least. There's some.
See, I wasn't trying to fuck with him. I was just trying to be funny.
Yeah, and
I was trying to be like, stop taking The Notebook so fucking seriously.
But yeah, to take The Notebook too seriously like that, nah.
I love people that take movies very
people
seriously.
Just want, but the thing is, and the funny,
and that's coming from somebody who's
I know,
an admitted movie addict.
But the funny thing about it is that sometimes it's just better to just have that crappy ending. You can't always have. Life isn't a happy ending. Yeah. The greatest Star Wars movie ever has evil wins. Like, seriously.
Godfather 2.
Godfather 2. I mean, it's not the greatest comparison, but Texas Chainsaw. I mean, not Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
She got away.
But the other one, Zombies movie.
Devil's Rejects.
No, other one. House of a Thousand Corpses. That was great because they all died.
Because you thought it was going to be
different.
Texas
You thought
Chainsaw,
it was,
and then he popped out of the back seat.
The whole thing was Texas Chainsaw Massacre, just reimagined. I mean, you can't always go for that happy ending. Even in the sad love movies, like if you watch a romantic comedy, like sometimes the better ones, they don't end the way you want it to. Because why do you want to watch a movie that's the same rehashing over and over and over again? I want to be teased a little bit. I want to have something different happen. Lost in Translation, Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson. They don't get together at the end. That's what everyone else, I'm sure, wanted to happen, but they don't. They part ways. Very nice movie.
I've never been a fan of the stereotypical Hollywood ending. I always think, now we're hitting that time where we need to be wrapping up. But we could go into a whole movie diatribe of how they be original and do your own thing. But I guess we can do another movie show later.
We'll do it again.
We'll do a movie. I'm sure. Gee, you think we're going to talk about movies later in one of the next? Blah, 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 blah?
So thank you guys for listening in to episode 20 of the Mike and Billy Show. Mike has completely lost himself. So I will tell you right now that you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Mike and Billy Show.
The last line always sucks.
You can follow us on Twitter @Mike and Billy.
Yep.
You can follow us separately at Mike Wendt, Wax Mustachic. You can find us obviously on iTunes, Spreaker, and Stitcher.
Yeah.
And big ups to our friend over there at STS Radio. Yes, Andrew Moss and his boy Bruce over at STS Radio. So to listen in on them, find them.
Bruce.
And a thank you to all of our new Twitter followers out there. We blew up. If we had stock money in the Mike and Billy show. We did better than the Dow this week. So thank you to all those people out there, and hopefully Canada, you still love me at least. And try to bring Mike back home in one piece next.
I'll see you
weekend.
bastards Saturday.
Anyway, hey Mike.
Yes.
Stay classy.
Hey.
Wow, thanks for listening, guys. Billy Finnegan, Mike Wendt. We'll see you next week. All right. See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.